second myth is tied up in that phrase, food is meant for the stomach and the stomach for food. Do you see that phrase there? It's a little slogan they were throwing around, and the basic idea behind this phrase was that, hey, sex is just an appetite. I get hungry, so I eat. I feel like having sex, so I have sex. It's just physical. There's no big deal, it's just an activity. It's like football, tackle football, but stay on the ground as long as possible. It's no big deal, it's just something that we do. And Paul is saying sex is not just physical, there's something deeper going on. It's attached to the non-physical you in such a profound way, it's unbelievable. It's not just physical. And I think you know this. In fact, you don't have to be a Christian to see this. This is a Christian vision for sexuality, but you could be a non-believer, you could be a Buddhist, a Jewish guy, it doesn't matter what you are. You know deep down that this cultural myth that we get sold in the media, it's in our art forms, it's in the movies, it's in the music we listen to. They tell us that sex is just physical, it's no big deal, but you know that sex is not just physical. And you know that I'm going to ask a couple questions that are going to be uncomfortable. I got these questions from Andy Stanley, by the way. It's a book, New Rules for Love, Sex, and Dating. I recommend the book. But if sex is just physical, then why is it that when a child is sexually abused and they finally get old enough and they figure out what happened and they connect all the dots, why is it that that's so hard to shake? It's not just an authority figure betrayed me. It's not just, a dirty old man that touched me. If it was just physical, then you could move on, you could move past it. But there's something about the sexual nature of the abuse that messes people up for the rest of their life. Why? Because it's not just physical. If sex is just physical, then why is it that when a woman is raped, there's so much secrecy around it? They will carry that secret to their deathbed because they don't want anyone else to know. Abuse is one thing. Getting mugged, getting physically harmed, a woman will generally report that. But when it comes to rape, why all the secrecy? Because sex, it's not just physical. Why is it that guys who have the deepest, most awkward sexual issues, why is it that in most cases they have a distant or absentee father? Because sex isn't just physical. It goes deep down into the psychology of another person. If sex is just physical, then why were you so interested in the sexual history of your partner? If it's just something they did with their body, if it's just like an appetite, you get hungry so you eat, you didn't ask them about their diet, why'd you ask them about their sexual past? Why were you so concerned about them asking you? Because sex is not just physical. You know it, I know it, the culture says that it is, but we know better than to believe that. And Paul is saying, you know this, sex is not just physical, it's not just an appetite, it's tied up into your soul, your sexuality. Because it's so attached to your soul, it makes your sexuality incredibly valuable, and it makes your sexuality incredibly fragile, which means you need to take that very fragile and that very valuable thing and treat it with care. And the way that you do that is engage in sexual behavior in a way that is according to God's design.